Unlocking the potential of Luminar Neo's catalog is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So our topic today is, I'm going to kind of geek out a little bit and talk about Luminar Neo catalogs, because that was something that the Coffee Break team or our group here has been talking about after hours. And just a reminder, if you want to watch this live, then you could tune in on Coffee Break with Luminar Neo and Skylum.events, Luminar Neo Coffee Break. That'll take you to the Zoom session, or you could watch it on YouTube. Just make sure you hit that notification button. And then if you want to stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment, you'll need to be part of the Zoom session, all right? So let me just dive right in. And originally I was going to do a bunch of slide decks, but I thought, you know what, the best thing to do, this right here, is to show you where to find the information, and it's right there in the user guide. All right, so I'm going to leave that up for a moment. That's the short link, luminar.tips/user guide, or scan that QR code, and it'll take you to this page that I'm going to show you right now. All right, so here we are. This is the user guide, and I opted for, in fact, let me just go right here. Yeah, so this is what it'll take you to here. I clicked on Luminar Neo. Now, under the search, I'm going to type in catalog. And here's where we come up with different, there's 27 results. But I'm going to click on the very first one. And this is what we're going to be working off of from today. All right? So let me zoom in just a little bit for you. All right, here we go. Good. First of all, the main thing is, what is a Luminar Neo catalog? All right? So think of the catalog as a database. And what it's going to do, it's going to help you manage your photos. So when you bring images into Luminar Neo, you're not copying those images. They're staying on your hard drive. So they're on your hard drive in the location you chose. You're using Neo to reference where those images are. All right. So again, think of it as a database. What it's going to do for you is it's going to help you keep track of where the photos are located, all the edits you've made to that particular image, and any flag. Let's just if I click the heart icon because I want to keep as one of my favorites, it stores that in there. If I put it into a album, it stores that in there. So catalogs are going to help you find your images and organize them much faster. All right? So that's what a catalog is. Now, like I mentioned, used as a database. Here it is. This has been the biggest topic. I think more people have made arguments over this topic. One versus multiple or project-based catalogs. For Luminar Neo's sake, remember, this also applies to Lightroom or any software that has a catalog-based system. One catalog, who was it? I think it was Dale Carnegie said, put all your eggs in one basket and then guard that basket really, really well. Well, that's what you would do with one catalog. If you have one catalog, you bring all of your images into that one catalog. If something happens to that catalog, you lose all those edits. You never lose the images. You lose the edits. So in Luminar Neo, that many images will slow it down to a crawl. So it's better to keep, in my opinion, maybe 10, 20, 30,000 images, but project-based. And what I mean by project-based is this. So let me get out of this here and bring it back over. Here we go. All right, so let me explain what project-based is. Let's say, and I'm not saying, let's say I do a photo shoot of Jim Carrey. That's a catalog. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I did a photo shoot of all famous actors, well, now famous actors could be a catalog, and then Jim Carrey, Robert De Niro, whoever, the rest of them would be in that. To make it practical for us, a lot of our users are landscape photographers. So you can have a landscape catalog. And then inside landscape, you break it down into subfolders, in which would be, let's say, Iceland. Well, that could also be for travel, but you get the idea. Under landscape, you can put whatever you want that helps you remember, these are my landscape photos, these are the locations and the dates that I've gone there. I'm going to fast forward to modeling or for portraits, because that's my specialty. So imagine I have a models catalog, and it's models over 18. Then I have a models under 18. So in the models over 18, I'm going to pick on some of the members here on coffee break. Let's say Carl Peterson, who's actually in that database. I have Carl Peterson. Well, then I'm going to put Carl Peterson's name there in that catalog or in the folder. Then underneath it, I'm going to have the date of the photo shoot I did with Carl in that subfolder, and then multiple ones from there on out. So now the catalog, if I pull it up, will have every model over the age of 18 that I've worked with organized nice and neatly in their own subfolders, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now that I have that set, well, a lot of these people on Coffee Break have got me into travel photography. Now I have a travel photography folder. They also got me into macro photography, or catalog, I mean. So now I have a macro catalog. If we started doing more travel photography catalog. So you get the idea of one versus project-based catalogs. So now my project-based catalogs are broken down into there. All right. So, and I'm going to go through that a little more in depth. So that's deciding between one catalog or multiple. All right. And then we have to decide how to back up our catalogs and where to store the catalogs. That's crucial. So let me prepare you for this right now. And here we are. All right. So I'm inside Luminar Neo. First, how do we create a catalog? I'm going to click on File, Catalog, New. And then from here, I can create a new catalog. Or I can come down, open a catalog where I know I already have, show and explore this catalog or in Finder. Or I can open up a recent catalog here. And now these are the two I think that are most overlooked: backing up and restoring. All right. So, but what I want to do for you right now is I'm going to show you where this particular catalog is. So I'm going to click on Show Explorer. Well, now my Explorer or Finder appears. This is my suggestion. I like to put my new Luminar Neo catalogs on one of my fastest drives. I'm fortunate that I have 2 SSD drives in my laptop. So I have 4 terabytes total. I have no problem running out of disk space. So I have it on my laptop, underscore Luminar Neo, and I put underscore just because it goes to the top. Now when I double click on it, look at this. These are all the project-based catalogs that I was talking about. Here's models, my photo library. Now, a lot of these, obviously, I'm doing because I teach a lot, so I have to make up different catalogs. But my working catalogs are strictly underscore model, underscore travel, underscore landscape, underscore macro. All right? So this is where I store it. I don't like storing it in the default location. So the default location is your pictures folder on both Mac OS and Windows. Here it is, Luminar Neo catalog. All right. I still like to put underscore here because it puts it to the top and I know exactly where it is. But for the sake of this, here's Luminar Neo catalog. That's where the default catalog is. I personally like putting it, like I said, on a D drive or even the C drive. Create a folder automatically called underscore Luminar Neo catalog, and now all new ones go in here. All right, so that's where I store my catalogs, and I showed you how and why I choose to do the project-based ones. Now, let me prepare to show you this. So yeah, right now my my RAID system is running a little bit slow, so we'll have to wait one moment as soon as that comes up. So what I wanted to show you was how I actually organize the images on my hard drive. Because keep this in mind, when you organize your images, especially on your hard drive, that's a system level. Now, all I'm going to use is Luminar Neo to point to where that is. All right, so I finally came back up. So here under underscore photography, there's my adults, there's my children. Now, if I click on adults, you'll see Carl Peterson in here, and all the other ones that I've worked with will be in here. But now that I have all this set, I know where my hard drive is set up. Well, when I come into my catalog now, what you see is what you get. So all of this is a course I did for Udemy. What you see on my hard drive will mimic what you see right over here in my folders. All right. So again, where you store your files or your catalogs, and 1 to project-based catalogs. Now, right here, file, catalog, right here, backup. Now keep in mind, let's go here. Luminar automatically keeps backups for you. Now this is excessive because I have a lot of different versions that I did, but I can go in and delete all of this, which I will at the end of the show. I can delete all of this, and Luminar is going to recreate that backup for me, which is fine. So on the Windows machine, you have backup, cache documents, and previews. These can get rather large. Now, let's see, my preview cache, it's showing just under a gig. All right, so my preview cache is just under a gig, which you can see it right here. If you have limited disk space, I suggest getting external drives. If you have to really crunch it, then you could go in and just literally delete the cache documents and the preview cache, and Luminar will rebuild it. The reason why it's there is it makes it quicker for you when you're working inside Luminar Neo. The backups, like I said, these I can erase, which I will, and just start all over again. But these are the file structures, and Mac has one extra, which it actually does your history inside the Mac. Never delete that one. All right? So now that I have that set, get out of here. One moment. There we go. Let me get back to Luminar Neo. So here we are. What I'm going to do is this: file, catalog, backup. Every so often, I don't mind doing this, and you put Luminar Neo backup. Maybe keep in mind it's for this project base. So right now, Luminar Neo backup catalog, I have no idea what this catalog is for. I just noticed right here, I have no idea what that's there. So what I'm going to do is make sure I know which catalog I'm dealing with. Well, I'm looking over here. Oh, this is Master Landscape Photo Editing Luminar Neo. So that was the project that I worked on. Well, if I say, well, where is that located? Oh, it's right here. It's under my D drive. So if I look under here, it's right here. All right, well, that's where I want to store that backup, or better, store it on a different hard drive. So this way, if something happens to my D drive, I have E or F, I could always pull that back up from, and of course, upload it to the cloud. So now I have that catalog safe and sound. All right. So when you're backing up your catalog, make sure you give it a descriptive name. So don't just hit file, catalog, backup, and just accept this. So make sure you give it a descriptive name. Now, if you do decide to leave it like this, then my suggestion would be go into your catalog. And we said this was the Udemy course. Yeah, it was yeah, see how that can get confusing? So, it was landscape, mastering. That's what it was. There it is. So I can put it right here. And now this backup will be safe and sound in the Luminar Neo master landscaping photo editing directory. Now that I have that set, if something goes wrong and I'm not able to access my catalog and I'm inside Luminar, I would have to start with a blank catalog. Well, I can come back over here and hit restore from backup. And then I would locate that file we just did, click on it, and help me have it restore the backup for me. All right? So, again, understanding catalogs is not the most sexiest and coolest part of being a photographer, but it's something you need to do because we're taking these amazing photos. It would stink if something happens to all of our edits. The photos themselves are always safe because they're on your hard drive. The edits is what we're protecting. So there's two concepts here. One is you need to back up your photos to protect your photos. And then two, you need to back up the edits, and the edits are inside Luminar Neo. Now, the most perfect solution to where you never have to worry about if the catalog crashed, export. So this here is my finished image. I need to make sure I export that to my hard drive. So this way I have a version of the exported image to where if something ever happened to my Luminar Neo catalog or to my Lightroom catalog, I make sure I have all the edits applied to that image so I don't have to start all over again. All right? So that's on that part there. Now, the other thing I'd recommend is to make sure you have a cloud-based backup solution, Crash Plan, Backblaze, those are good ones. And if you don't want to do a paid version, you have Google Drive, Dropbox, any of those. You can upload your catalogs to that off-site. So if your computer crashes, then you have a great way of restoring it. All right. So there we have it. Again, I'm hoping to have you understand to help you a little bit better. But keep in mind, if you want more information, please check out this Luminar Tips/user guide. And if you have any issues whatsoever, now the other thing you can do, which is really cool, is let's go to edit. If you're inside Luminar Neo, and let's say I'm working on enhance, ooh, look at this right here. Click on the info icon, and in a moment it'll generate a brief what's going on, what that tool is all about. Yeah, it's giving me it'll give me what's the tool all about, but most importantly, let's see if this has it. There it is. If you click on learn more, it'll take you to the website. We'll just do it. It'll take you to the website for the user manual, and it gives you all that information. So we have that built in, and I want to thank our engineers who kind of snuck that in on one of the nights. That's there, so our user manual is built inside Luminar Neo. All right? Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Now, keep in mind, if you're here now, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.